Figuring out how to optimize your landing pages for Google Ads can be overwhelming, to say the least. There are so many different variables you can tweak and test, and there is so much information and advice out there on this topic that it's hard to know what's actually worth listening to. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I've worked in performance marketing for almost a decade. I've built dozens of my own landing pages, and I've audited and optimized many more for clients as well.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers.
Plus, just like with the rest of my videos, I've teamed up with the guys from ROImonks, the performance marketing agency where I work, to bring you even more agency-tested tips as well as a few relevant case studies and real-life examples on landing page optimization. Landing page optimization is something you should not neglect. In fact, I believe you should take it very seriously because with search term matching in Heatmaps, keywordless targeting in dynamic search ads, and even with broad match keywords, Google will crawl your landing page content to find relevant search queries for targeting. With features like text customization, Google will use text and metadata from your landing page to generate headlines and descriptions. And with Performance Max, Google will even extract visuals from your landing page and use those as well. On top of that, if your landing page is sending poor post-click signals, like a high bounce rate, for example, Google will inevitably punish you for it. You'll receive less data, lower quality traffic, and it's going to be much more expensive. So optimizing your landing page is crucial. However, I didn't want to turn this video into just another generic list of landing page best practices. That information is already out there and you can find it easily. In this video, I want to go a bit further and share the mindset and the approach we take at the agency as marketing professionals when we optimize our landing pages. Start with data. First, go to your landing pages report in Google Ads to see which landing pages are actually driving the most clicks and prioritize optimizing your top volume pages first. Then, check your tech details report in Google Analytics 4, look at your highest volume device categories and browsers, and optimize for those first as well. Next, go to your search term report for the relevant ad groups or campaigns and check which searches are driving the most clicks to this landing page. Those search queries need to be prominent on your landing page, not just to have message continuity between your ad and your landing page, but also to help Google AI better understand what you are promoting, pick up those searches for targeting purposes, and use them for AI-generated ad copy as well. Next, I recommend turning to your session recording tool. If you don't have one, I highly recommend installing Microsoft Clarity or a similar tool. I like Clarity because it's simple and completely free. A session recording tool is a must-have because it gives you by far the best understanding of how visitors are actually behaving on your landing page, what they click, how far they scroll, and so on. And if you're just starting out with a new landing page and you think you don't need a session recording tool right now, I still recommend you install one now, let it gather data, and you'll thank me later. Session recordings. Especially when you're first launching a new landing page or a new UI feature or element, I highly recommend watching your session recordings for a few days. Yes, it's manual work and it takes time, but if you watch a few dozen full sessions, you'll get a real sense of the kind of journey your customers go through, from the landing page all the way down your funnel. I also like checking sessions with rage clicks and dead clicks, because they can quickly show you points of friction on your landing page and even on your entire website. For example, for one client, I've seen a lot of people rage clicking around terms of service checkbox because it was too small and people were struggling to accept it on mobile. Once fixed, the acceptance rate skyrocketed. In addition, on Clarity, you can filter sessions with JavaScript errors. See at what points in the session the bug is happening. It will help you understand it, and try to minimize them as much as possible. Heatmaps. My favorite feature of session recording tools like Clarity is Heatmaps. I recommend you study the heat maps of your landing pages to understand what your visitors are engaging with, what they click on the most, and what they ignore. If a clickable element is being ignored, consider moving it lower on the page. Or if it's not essential and people don't use it, you can drop it from the page completely. On the other hand, if an area is getting a lot of clicks and attention, that tells you that that part of the page is important and you better make sure you get that part of the page right. For example, I remember seeing multiple cases in client session recordings where visitors were repeatedly tapping on parts of the page, expecting something to happen, but nothing did because those elements weren't clickable. In one case, people were tapping on benefit icons, expecting some sort of pop-up, but they were just static icons. In another case, visitors were clicking the stars in the reviews section to filter by rating, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. But again, this was just a static image and nothing was happening. That told us that visitors had a clear expectation, but it wasn't being met. And if you notice something similar in your heat maps, that's your sign that you need to make that part of the page more interactive. Scroll maps. Scroll maps are great too because they show you where your visitors drop off. If you see a sharp drop off at a certain point, that usually signals friction, and it's worth tweaking that section of the page to try to reduce that drop off rate. Scroll maps will also demonstrate how fast people typically drop off relative to how much content is on the page. So it's always a good idea to put your most important USPs, your best visuals, your CTAs, and your lead forms towards the top of the page, because that's what most people are actually going to see. And this goes beyond the landing page itself. Your landing page is just one part of a larger funnel, so take these same principles and apply them to the later stages of your funnel as well, and that will have a massive impact on your overall conversion rate. If you're in lead gen, your sign-up form will do more to make or break the conversion rate than anything else on the page. So in your analysis and optimization, really focus on analyzing the behavior around the form, field by field, and cut anything that isn't essential for qualifying the lead. If you're in e-commerce, the high impact friction point is often around adding to cart and completing the checkout, so make sure your add to cart buttons are prominent. Ideally, add a sticky add to cart button on mobile and make your checkout as frictionless as possible. Page speed. The next tip, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is to get your page speed and core web vitals to the benchmark levels as much as possible. From our agency experience, changes in page speed have an immediate massive impact on bounce rate and, as a result, on conversion rate and ROI. I've seen this many times firsthand. A client is making landing page updates or launching a new feature, slowing down the website, and you can see bounce rates start going up and conversion rates going down immediately. Improving your load speed is the lowest hanging fruit you can grab to improve your performance if your landing page is not already optimized for speed. There is a ton of data and studies proving how important loading times are, so get your loading speed down as much as you possibly can while still maintaining high quality of your visuals. Offer. The next tip, and this is something a lot of advertisers refuse to admit, is that your offer is going to be a massive, if not the most important deterministic factor in your success on Google Ads. So under the umbrella of your landing page optimization, I'd also include offer optimization. The key point here is that you need to make your offers as competitive and as attractive to your ideal customer as possible. So check your direct competitors on Google Ads, on organic search, and on social media, and make sure your offer holds up, because it's inevitable that your potential customers are going to comparison shop, especially on Google. And if you can't directly reduce your pricing, try to increase the perceived value of your offer through other means. This is going to depend heavily on your product or service and your industry, of course, but it can be things like guarantees, bundles, free perks or bonuses, and so on. For example, we had a case at the agency where a client was really struggling to generate sales with a particular landing page. What we recommended was reducing their delivery time, which is a crucial component of your offer, and making that delivery message prominent in the header bar at the very top of the page. And after the delivery time was reduced, conversions immediately started rolling in. So sometimes those small offer tweaks are what make your product or service significantly more attractive to potential customers, and that's what gets them to choose you. Reviews and testimonials. The next critically important area of your landing page you need to get right is your reviews and testimonials section. This is something I see consistently when I watch session recordings. People always seek out reviews, testimonials, and trust signals. And what's even more interesting is that people actively seek out negative reviews as well. So if you haven't already, make your trust signals and reviews prominent on your landing page. If you can, let your customers browse all your reviews right there on the page so they don't have to leave it to go check Google reviews or Trustpilot. And if you can, add a review gallery with image and video reviews too. And if you don't have visual reviews like that, you can link your social media as a gallery instead. Customers tagging you on social media can act as a visual or reviews gallery too. And more importantly, don't try to hide your negative reviews. Studies show that conversion rates actually peak at a star rating between 4.2 and 4.7 because people understand that not every customer experience is going to be 5 stars. Just make sure you're responding promptly to negative reviews and trying to make things right. People will really appreciate that. And as long as the majority of your reviews are still positive and you're addressing the negative ones, you will be in really good shape. And if you're in B2B, make sure to prominently feature the logos of the companies you work with. If you can, get proper customer testimonials and success stories from your partners, post them on your website, and even give previews of these success stories directly on your landing page. That will really build the trust people need to take the next step. And if you have any certifications, awards, editorial features, or top industry rankings, for example, make sure to prominently feature those on your landing page as well. Copywriting and messaging. When it comes to optimizing your landing page copywriting and messaging, this isn't something you can easily optimize through session recordings or heat maps. You will have to gradually optimize your page copy and your messaging over time. And to do it properly, you need split tests, meaning you drive part of your traffic to one variation of the page and part of the traffic to another variation. Then evaluate which one performs better. You can do this by creating 2 ads in Google Ads and using different landing page for each, or running an ad variation experiment and pointing traffic to 2 different landing pages at the same time. Then in Google Analytics 4 and in your Google Ads reporting and on Clarity as well, you can see which page performs better. Copywriting is a massive topic in itself. There are a ton of books on it. Here are some of my favorite. Plus there are endless articles and advice online. But if you look at the landing pages of the world's top brands, they all make it incredibly easy to read and consume the information on the page. Their copywriting is usually extremely simple. And this is because, and you will see this in your session recordings, people will scroll through your landing page incredibly fast, especially on mobile. Nobody is going to stop and read a giant block of text on your landing page. That's why you need to organize your copy for fast scrolling, almost scanning behavior. However, this might not be the case for you if you're in B2B. So use bullet points, headlines, visuals, and graphics in a smart way to help people quickly scan and understand your unique selling points, your offer, and so on. And crucially, Try to make your copy as relevant as possible by using the same language and terminology and specific keywords and phrases your audience actually uses. Read customer reviews, check forums, or talk to your customers directly. You can also use AI tools to help you do this as well. And make sure that you're using this specific language and terminology that your ideal customers use on your landing page. This will also help Google AI better understand your ideal customer and will improve your targeting as well. And while we are on the topic of split tests, this is something you can also use to test different types of landing pages. In most cases, it's pretty straightforward. You just drive traffic directly to your product or service page. But if you want to test which landing page type you should actually use, you can, of course, start by looking at what top advertisers in your space are doing. That can help guide you. And of course, you can run a proper split test and see which landing page type delivers better conversion rate, better average order value, lower bounce rate, and so on. Frequently asked questions and AI search. The last tip I want to leave you with is one that's becoming more and more important with the rise of LLMs, shopping agents, and AI search. Make sure that you're answering every possible question your customers might have, either on a dedicated FAQ page or in an FAQ section directly on your landing page. And make sure that this content is accessible and readable by AI bots. This is the language AI is going to pull from when people type a question into AI mode on Google, ChatGPT, or anything else. So if you want AI to give people the right answers about your product or service, your company, and your brand, you need to make sure that those answers exist on your site. And ideally, the most important ones should live directly on your landing page. If you need help optimizing your landing pages or with your digital marketing more broadly, check out ROImonks. I'll leave their links in the description. You might even catch me there. If you want a one-on-one consultation with me personally, check out my Pensite link. And if my work helped you and you just want to buy me a coffee, there is a link for that down there as well. Here are a couple more videos I think you will find valuable. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. I'll see you in the next one.